it's all gonna be good. Don't worry about nothing, don't worry about nothing, nothing now. It's all gonna be good. So breathe like you know you should. Yeah, breathe.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to be looking at something simple but something really important and interesting. We are simply going to be looking at how to import files into SQL, that is SQL Server Management Studio. That's what we are using in this video. So how to import files into SQL Server Management Studio, that's what we are going to be looking at. Now you might be asking, Meshach, what do you mean? Because the formulas or the process are the same. No, in SQL Server Management Studios, I don't know for other databases, but for this particular one, how you import Excel into SQL Server Management Studio is a bit different from how you import CSV files. Now you do know that there is a difference between Excel files and CSV files. All right, Excel and CSV are not the same. They are two completely different file types, excuse me. And so if you are importing them, SQL Server Management Studio actually has different ways of importing them. Let me show you what I mean. So but before I even show you, I just want to show you what I mean by SQL and CSV types. Now if you come right here, this is the file type that we will be importing for this particular video. All right, so for this particular video, this is what we'll be using. All right, now how do you know whether this particular file, all right, is an Excel type or a CSV type? So what we can do is I can simply just right click on this, all right, and I'll go to properties. So I'll come to properties. Now if I come to properties, I have the opportunity to see the file type. So I know from here that this type of file, all right, Microsoft is a Microsoft Excel worksheet, that is XLSX. So this is simply telling me that this is an Excel file. All right, so this is an Excel file type. So you know this is an Excel file type. All right, now let's go to the second one and see. Now if you come right here, this also looks kind of similar, but this is just an Excel file type. All right, let me show you. If you right click on this particular file, all right, and we go to properties, we are going to see it right over here that this is Microsoft Excel comma separated values file. So this is CSV file. All right, it's a comma separated value file. It's a CSV file. So this is not an Excel file as the previous one showed us. Do you understand? So that is how you can identify if the file that you are trying to pull is an Excel or a CSV file. And this is very, very important because imagine you are trying to pull a file into SQL Server Management Studio. Now, Excel and CSV look a little bit similar, all right? They look more or less like the same. And so you are not entirely sure whether the file that you are importing is an Excel or CSV file. Now, if you try using the formula or the process for pulling an Excel file for a CSV file, it's not going to work. SQL Server Management Studio, excuse me, is not going to show the file at all. All right, and so you need to keep this in mind when you are trying to pull your data or import your data into SQL Server Management Studio. All right. So now that we've seen the difference between the CSV file and the Excel file, and we've seen how they both are written. Okay, when we go to the properties, now let's go into SQL Server Management Studio and see how we are going to pull these two extreme file types. Okay, so we have the VG charts over here, which is a CSV file, and then we have this, which is exercise, which is an Excel file. All right, so now I have this, my SQL Server Management Studio open. Now before we even pull them, we need to create a database for this. So I'm simply going to come here and say create database CSV. All right, I just want to create a database and call it CSV. Okay, so let me quickly change this to master. All right, so create database CSV, and I'm going to execute this. All right, okay, so now I have my unknown type database, excuse me, so they're supposed to be A, so create database CSV. All right, good. So we've created our database. Now before I have a video on this, so I'm not going to go into details, but before you import your table, you need to have a database for it. All right, so there's a separate video on this. It should be live in the next week or in the next video upload. All right, so you can check that out. In that video I go much more into details. I talk about what database is, I talk about how to actually import data, I talk about how to create table and all of that. Like I said, this year we are looking at SQL. All right, I want you to be able to master SQL before the year comes to an end, and so this year has been dedicated to learning SQL and being proficient at using SQL. All right, and so you have a video on that, but this is just to show you how to import these two different file types. Okay, and so we created our database and we've named it CSV. So if we come to our database section, we can see all our databases. You can see that we have so let me just quickly refresh this. Okay, okay. Mm, all right, so now that I've refreshed, now you can see we have our database. This is what we just created, CSV. So we have it here, CSV. All right, so now that I've come here, this database is holding the CSV type of file type that we are using as an example. All right, and so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to right click on the CSV we are porting. All right, like I said, I already have video on this, but I just want to show you the difference between the Excel and the CSV, so that when we begin working on serious projects, you don't get it confused and twisted. All right, so CSV, so I'm going to come to task. All right, and for CSV files, what you are going to do is that you are not going to come to import data. When you are bringing in files into SQL, you come to the import section. So we have import flat file and import data. But when it's a CSV file, you go to import flat file, because the CSV files use this route. It is this process that you are able to pull in the CSV files. All right, and so with the CSV file, you come to import flat file. And so now I'm going to click on my import flat file. All right, let's give it a few minutes, and then we are going to get this pop up. All right, let me just quickly bring this here a little bit. I want to bring this here. Oh, hold on, excuse me, sorry about that. All right, so now we are in here. Okay, so now that we've come in here, import flat file, we are going to see a next button down right here. Okay, so you are going to click on the next button right down here, and it's going to take you to the next stage. All right, or the next phase. Okay, all right, which is this. So now that we've come here, now as we are here, it says location of file to be imported. So you are going to go to browse and select the file. Now it's a CSV file, so if you are looking for an Excel file and you use this procedure, you are not going to see your file. It's not going to show, because like I said, this just gives you the opportunity to pull in your CSV files. All right, it gives you the opportunity to pull in your CSV files. And so when I come here, I'm going to go look for my CSV file. Now my CSV file is supposed to be the VG what have you. And so I'll come right here, and I can see my CSV file here. So this is my CSV file that I showed you, the Microsoft Excel command separated value. This is my CSV file. Now, if I'm to try pulling in an Excel original file, all right, an Excel original file. So I had those here. You realize that it's empty. There's nothing in there. Okay, let's just quickly go through. So new data for Excel. All right. So new data for Excel. So new data for Excel, exactly. So in this particular folder, we are supposed to have some items in here, but the problem is that the items that are in here, the file types that are in here, are all Excel file types. So we don't have the option to pull them, because this particular procedure or process only helps us to pull CSV file types. All right, so because it's CSV file type, we are going to go back and pull in our CSV file. Okay, so the CSV file is in here, so now we can see it in here, and then open. All right, so now when we open, it's going to fill, so give it a few minutes. All right, so now it's done, and now we can proceed to next. Okay, we can proceed to next, and then there's going to be another, this whole thing. So I want you to carefully look at the process on how this is taking us through. All right, so that when we move on to the Excel type of files, you understand the difference. Okay, all right, so we are just waiting for it to load. Okay, all right, so like so, and now we can go to next. We have all of this. All right, and you go to next. All right, and so our CSV file has been imported, so it's going to load insert data, and after it will tell you it's finished or something. All right, so once it was done, it gave us an error. So it says the column other sales does not allow dbn now dot value. So that is in that particular data set. There's a column like this that is giving us an issue, but this is not really anything. We just need to go in and do some changes and all of that. But essentially, this is how to pull a CSV file data type into SQL Server Management Studio. All right, this is essentially how to pull it. This video is all about learning how to pull the different file types into SQL. Once we begin and we start doing serious things, we are not going to face this problem because we are going to work it out before we even start importing all of our data set. But this is essentially how to import. So if it had gone through, it will just tell you that insert data, all right, and it will say complete or finish, and then you quickly just come down here and press on finish, and then that will be done. That will be all. All right, that will be done. That will be all. So it's really nothing serious. So this is all about a column in the data set that is giving us problems. Okay, all right. So now we can close this and we are done with that. Now let's move on to the next one. So now if you want to import an Excel type item, okay, if you want to import an Excel type item, what is the procedure or what is the process? Okay, all right. So I'm going to come to new query, and I'm going to say create database Excel. All right, okay. So now this procedure is also going to help us pull in our Excel file data type. Okay, our Excel file data type. So we've created our database. Now we can come in here and refresh it. All right, we can refresh this so that we can get our database that we just created, our Excel type. All right, so this is it. So all right, so now that we have our database already created, now we need to go in and pull the table into our database. Okay, we need to go and pull our table into the database. So what we are going to do, we are going to just go on here, select the database, right click, all right, and now we are going to go to tasks. All right, so now that when we go to task, now initially we went to import flat file for the CSV. In this regard, because we are pulling in an Excel file, if you go to import flat file again, you are not going to get or see the particular file that you are selecting, because importing flat file is a process for bringing in CSV files. All right, but for Excel files, we don't go via that route. So what are we going to do? So in this regard, we are going to go to import data. So I'm going to select import data. All right, I'm going to select import data. Now pay close attention to this particular process because it's very, very, very important. All right, okay. So once we've clicked on that, we've selected that, we are going to get this dialog box, and I'm going to click on next. Hello, I'm Meshak here, and still in the course of the video, just wanted to take a minute and to let you know that if you're a small business owner or someone trying to break into data analytics, hey, you should know that I can help you move faster without confusion. Over here, I offer one-on-one data analytics coaching where I teach you podcast skills in Power BI, SQL, Excel, Python, alright, and business insights tailored to your goals. Whether it's for improving decisions or landing a role, you are at the right place. I also needed to know that I've also created a Power BI beginner ebook that breaks everything down step by step, no jargon, no overwhelming. And so if you are ready to actually understand data and use it with confidence, I'll ask you to check the links right below. I've attached it to my video. Alright, and you can see, so this is my one-on-one coaching where you can book a coaching session with me, and you can get to ask me questions directly, and I can help you to solve any problem that you are looking to solve when it comes to data analytics. You can also find my ebook here, right? And so if there is something that you like, you can simply go in and then you can purchase it, and it's quite affordable, so you can just go in and purchase it, and trust me that you are going to get the value that you are looking for as you buy this book. All right, so without much ado, I digress. Let's move back to the video. All right, and now we are going to get this. Now this is simple. It says choose a data source, and it said data source, so you are going to choose the data source from here. Now the data source that we are pulling is what is it's called the Excel. It's called Excel. All right. So Microsoft Excel. So I'm going to go right here to Microsoft Excel. You can also put the flat file source, but this is not really something that I advise. Okay. So we are going to come to Microsoft Excel because it's an Excel file that we are pulling. All right. And then select Excel. So when you select Excel, we are going to get something like this, and we are going to go to browse in order to get our data. Okay, so you click on browse, and our data is where our data is currently at new data, right? New data for Excel. So here is it, and now we can see, if you recall, initially when we opened the flat file, we didn't see all of this, but now that we are pulling an Excel file, this is the procedure for pulling an Excel file. We see all this. Alright, so we are simply going to select the file that we are looking for, which in this regard is this. So exercise. So now that as I've selected it, I'll come to open. Alright, and now our file will be filled in here. Alright, our file, alright, the place we are pulling the file from, the source, alright, the file path, excuse me, will be found in here. Alright, so now that we have that, you can see this place has also been filled already with the Excel version. Okay, so you go to next. Alright, so let's give it a minute. So once you come to next, now this is another crucial part. Okay, so once you come to next, what you are going to do is you are going to click on this drop down. You are going to come down here. You are going to select Microsoft OLEDB provider for SQL Server. Selecting any different one might not work. This is the one I recommend. So you select the Microsoft OLEDB provider for SQL Server. Alright, so once you've selected that, now you can just click on next. Okay, click on next. So it's going to fill in everything, your server name and the Windows authentication, everything, and the database type. Alright, so it's going to fill in everything. Alright, so you click on next. It's going to take a minute. It's going to take a minute now. My SQL is running a bit slow. I'm not entirely sure why. I'm going to have to check up on it once I'm done with this video. Okay, all right. And so once that is done, it's going to bring you here to specify table copy or query and all of this, and you are simply going to click on next. Okay, you're simply going to click on next. And so if you click on next, you are going to get all of these. All right, so these are the tables that are in that particular file. All right, so these are the tables that are in that particular file, and you can either select all of them or select the table that you want to work with. All right, so I'm just going to select all of them, and you can preview as well to see how everything is going to be shown. All right, so you can preview and see your tables, the headings, and all of that. So once you are done with that, you click on next. Okay, you're going to click on next. It's going to take you a run, immediately save. So you're going to just leave everything as it is over here, and you can simply just go to finish, or you can again click on next. It still doesn't matter. So once you click on next, now you can go to finish. All right, and it's going to load just as it was doing for the CSV file as well. All right, and so in this regard, if there's no problem within that table when it comes to the columns and all of that, it's going to say successful and then complete, and so you can close from there. All right, and so now it's still loading. You can see it's still working. So let's hope this one we don't have any problem within that particular table. All right, and then we can just close it. Okay, and so we are copying to DBU and all of that. Okay, so let's give it a minute. All right, so you can see that now everything is set, everything is done. And so once you are done, you just click on close, and then we are done with that. Okay, and so if we just refresh this, we just come here and refresh this. Okay, everything should be working properly, and we can just give it a try as well and see. Right, okay, so but then this is going to be the end. All right, let's just give it a try and see. I thought it was going to take a while, so we can just come here. All right, and so let's check. This is what we just imported. Let's see what is in our table. All right, let's just see what is in our table, and then let's see if we can query some stuff. If it's still taking a while, we can just end over here because that is all for today. But let's just see if we can query some tables, so I just want to, I'm doing it because I want to find the table name, of course. So I'm just going to, I think the table name is select. all from. Now, another thing to also keep in mind is that if we want information from this particular database, then we need to change the database name from master to that particular database name. All right, so we are going to change that to Excel. All right, so that we are able to pull in the data. It's as simple as that, so that we are able to pull in the data. Okay, I explain all of this in my next video, so you see. All right, so you can see the tables are in here. So we have 2025 table and we have 2026 table. So I'm going to say select all from 2025, right? So if this is still messing up, you can just copy this, all right, and then bring it back over here. Okay, and yeah, so there is an item in that particular data set. So yes, I don't know, I hope this video was helpful. I just wanted to make this video real quick because there is something that a lot of people struggle with. I struggle with as well when I was starting out. I was always confusing pulling in Excel CSV files because I wasn't sure when I was trying to pull Excel files using a formula or a procedure that I knew it wasn't working. I wasn't seeing them. So I was always working with one file type, all right. But then as time went on, I discovered that, oh wait, I was making a mistake and I could have done it this way and that way, and that is what I did. And so today I decided to show you guys so that you guys are also aware, so that once we start going deep into SQL, everybody is going to be on the same page. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, all right, and leave a comment down below if there's something that you'd like to ask, if there's something that you are still pondering over and you still do not really understand, all right. And hey, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can join the now comment, so that when I upload any new video like this, my friend, you'll be the one to be notified.